got the ball spread around. It was exactly what we wanted, minus you would have loved to have gotten another shutout. You can explain whether or not you think that it matters, but going into Michigan, do you feel like Nebraska is properly prepared?
I think they're as prepared as we could want or expect. I feel much better after these two games than I did after the Cincinnati game from a lot of areas. I thought the players did decent executing what was called against Cincinnati. I obviously took heat, had a lot of people agree also. It was kind of a big back and forth with the fan base of the disappointment in the play calling in the Cincinnati game. I talked a little bit during the live stream, man. I don't think there's anything that could have happened on a positive note to make me feel any better going into Michigan. And I don't mean that as like a downer. I'm just saying if something was going to change my opinion, I think it would have been in the negative, in the more negative direction. I think now it's like, okay, you did exactly what you would expect a very, very good team to do against these types of opponents. Where years past we haven't done that. We haven't been able to, haven't seemed like there's been a lot of effort towards it. And now all of that was there, from the second, third, and fourth string guys getting in and still trying to really push the issue, whether it was trying really hard to pitch a shutout, just play a sound game. The starters doing exactly what you would want them to do to hurry up and get out of the game. You got to treat these like preseason games in my mind. So the sooner they get their job done, they go home, so to speak. I thought they did that even better this week than last week, even though the score wasn't quite as lopsided. Of course, for in this moment, you'd like to see the shutout again, but as the season progresses, no one's going to talk about these games. These games aren't going to be important. If they do, it's going to be in reference to, yeah, you could do those things against blah blah blah, but you can't blah blah. That's typically how that goes. So I'm just happy they did everything and then kind of then some that I would expect or want. And now there's not a lot of concern as far as aside of, and we'll get into it when we start covering the Michigan stuff, but I'm still worried about the quarterback run game. I don't feel like either one of these two teams gave us much look at that to see if even against this talent we can shut it down. So I'm a little leery of that. That's one thing I think would have been nice to see of out of both, if not at least one of these games, how they react to that. But everything else, I mean, they passed the test in front of them, and now it's how good are you? Can you do that to real teams or higher level talent? So we'll see. But I'm fine with the way everything went. I don't feel like it's inevitable that we're going to lose. I definitely don't think we're going to get dog walked against Michigan. I don't know that I think we're going to win, but like I said, we'll get into that in future ones. But really happy with this one, man. I was glad that they were able to get deeper into the bench earlier than they did last week.
Yeah, thinking back to our preview, that is actually one of the specific things you wanted the most was I remember just getting into the bench and them not having too many troubles, which they were able to limit. The other storyline from this game, unfortunately, and this will only be with some fans, some people are acting like we have a quarterback controversy because TJ Latif has been so good. I want to ask you about that. But first, guys, we got to tell you about our new sponsor for the channel, Profit X. Football is back, and you guys know that this season we're using Profit X for our go-to for season-long plays and player props. Profit X is America's #1 sports prediction market. You guys can win real money predicting sports outcomes in 40 plus states, including Nebraska. You get better odds than traditional sports books with Profit X because you're playing against people, not the house. With Profit X, you can request your own odds. You can play with confidence and you get super quick payouts straight to your bank, card, or even crypto. And the best part is if you sign up right now at profitx.co or download the app and sign up using the promo code RANT, R-A-N-T, and you'll get up to $200 in ProfitX cash on all your plays for the first 30 days. Sign up now at profitx.co or download the app and start winning real money predicting sports. Terms and conditions apply. In your opinion, man, is there any quarterback controversy in Nebraska?
No, absolutely not. To me, this is the two things can be true at once. Change. They're maybe starting to rotate players and there's zero pressure and he's able to just in a relaxed, dude looks very comfortable. And this isn't a slight at Latif either. It's just there's levels to it. And until Raiola gives you a reason to look at going another direction, I think it's crazy to even really talk about it, to be honest with you. Like it's just I get the excitement. I get where you see some of the dynamicness, especially in the run game. And then you see some of the passes he makes on top of that. And it's like, this dude's the whole package. Why are we not running with him? It's just not the same. And it's just not the same going in 0-0. Everybody's fresh and pressure, especially when you get in now the rest of the year. What are you going to do? Because a guy looked good when he spotted 40 some points against beat down starters of no name schools and rotational guys of no name schools and looks good. Now all of a sudden you just throw him the keys against the Big Ten. Like that just seems crazy to me. But at the same time, I feel super confident. I'm more worried about Emmett going down than Raiola at this point. I feel like the backup to Raiola is closer than the backup to Emmett is. And it gives you a different dynamic, a different look, not just a regression. I feel like you're going to regress if you get away from Emmett, and you might regress in certain things if you have to go with Latif over Raiola, but you are also going to have new things available to you that you don't currently have with Raiola. So there's a reason these coaches, man, they're around them 24/7 now. With practices, with mat drills, conditioning, the different camps and all this stuff. They're putting the best guys out there. Whether we see that on every Saturday or we agree with that 100% is two different things, but it's not. I can guarantee it's not a conversation that the coaches are going to have or anybody in the building at Lincoln's having. So there's going to be fans that talk about it. There's going to be guys. Backup quarterback's always the most popular position, especially if and when Raiola has a bad series or two against a good team. You're going to hear the chirps and all that stuff, but it's just to me, it's just noise, kind of unnecessary noise. But at the same time, I couldn't be happier to have that dude as a fallback if and when you need to go to a backup. We give each other shit a lot that I'm always down and negative and no excitement, and you're drinking Kool-Aid all the time. But like on a serious note, you are a little bit more wild or awed by the more explosive plays or the flashier look to things or whatever. And I think that's where a lot of that talk's coming from, the allure to Latif. Are you kind of that way? Are you kind of like,
No,
yeah,
I
wouldn't
I
be bad to
like
have
his flash. I like everything about him, but I just think it's overzealous excitement that he does look so good that it's weird for a lot of us to comprehend that he's not the starter. But it's like, guess what? You have a starter that's better, more proven, and just hasn't done anything to even remotely be questioned about losing a starting spot. It's absolutely crazy. Like you said, it's a good problem to have, but it's completely unnecessary. Tell us what you guys think, though, in the comments about the quote unquote quarterback controversy, and also tell us what you think is going to happen going into Michigan week. Thanks for hanging out. Go Big Red.